Welcome to the second video where we will discuss about what is this chat GPT, what is GPT, and what why there is a lot of buzz around it. So I think instead of going through all these articles and everything, like showing you around, why not just ask chat GPT itself what it is and how it is revolutionary. By the way, when I was going to the site like OpenAI, you can access ChatGPT by going to OpenAI, and I think they have this URL like try GPT itself. But at this point of time, they are out of they are out of capacity, so they are basically slowing down their public access and only allowing few people to use it. So I think they are going with the subscription plan like everything else in this world. But if you want to access it, you can go to API and log in it with any of the Google accounts which you have, and then you can go to this playground section and there you can access it. It's generally more available because it's only for developers, and general people don't have much idea about it. This they can access the chat GPT like this also. But that was a quick hack. If it is not available directly with using chatgpt.openai.ai, you can access it using their API tools as API section as well. So let's start with this. Let's ask this chatbot or chat GPT. What is chat GPT? Chat GPT. It sometimes takes a bit of time. Okay. I think that should serve the purpose. So let me explain what he's trying to say. So ChatGPT is a natural language processing model. So basically, ChatGPT is nothing but a language processing, natural language processing model. So it's basically a AI model which has been trained on petabytes of data. It basically might have read all the news articles, books which are available in the public domain, and all sort of data points where it can get. I'm damn sure they have read the entire Wikipedia, and based on that, it has its own neural. They have developed their own neural network. How to process this data. We'll dive more deeper into it, but basically, it's a natural language processing. It understand what a human is trying to say, and the output is also in a human understandable format where maybe a text which we can read. So that's what ChatGPT is. Think of it as a large data set of all the information which is there, and they have after making this model, they might have shrunk it down to a very manageable way. So there are a lot of models available like this, like just like ChatGPT is a neural network model. There will be a lot of models available. Few of them which I know, which is MobileNet. Yes, this thing is quite famous. So MobileNet is also a data model which is used for image processing. So it can classify image with like around 55 to 65 degree of accuracy. It's a very small data set, not like ChatGPT. It won't. That's why nobody was getting crazy over it, because it's pretty small. It's around 18 MB. I'm not sure about the latest versions and all, but that's what I remember it was. So a data set, I mean, ChatGPT will be way bigger than this. Like, they will not tell us what the actual size of this model is, but I'm damn sure it will be in terabytes for sure. Anyways, so this is about natural processing model. Now, what the whole thing that makes this thing unique is GPT. So let's ask AI about it. What is GPT? Oh, sorry, it does not like this, like question marks and all. Okay, let it reply. GPT, generative pre-trained transformer. Okay, this is where it's get interesting. What makes ChatGPT very powerful is basically one of the research which was done in 2017. I have that link open somewhere where it is. Not ChatGPT. Yeah, here we go. This Google research paper. So what this research tells about is, like, when we are dealing with a large set of data set, it gets confusing. And when we in machine learning, there is also called cleaning up the data. You do a lot of manipulation on the data, so that you play around with the biases, you play around with the parameters, you try to reduce some kind of noise in the data which might result in faulty results. You try to get to the median values, and extreme input and output. You have to tweak around. It's basically like just like a mechanic, you have to move around different parts of the engine to get it working properly. When you're making a data model, it's kind of like that. Most of the engineers who work in AI and ML spend most of the time trying to filter out the data, trying to get the best input to the these neural nets so that they give the desired results. So this paper, which was published like in 2017 August, outlines a way where we don't have to look at the very the entire document as a whole. We can pick it the more important parts in that document. I will not go into detail of that, but think of it like I'm saying I'm going to Goa. So instead of thinking about like this entire statement, it's like going Goa, and it will highlight the entire sentence. Sometimes when we speak of human language, we tend to give extra information. So this method filters it out and reduce the competition a lot. Because of that, ChatGPT, what they have done is instead of creating few hidden nodes from input node to output node, they have like I think hundreds and hundreds. They will not reveal the data for sure, but there will be hundreds of intermediary nodes, maybe more than that, that gives you like this very accurate answers. This will be very CPU intensive. That's why they have collaborated with Microsoft, and they have like kind of whole full data center for them to play around with this kind of data set. That's why programmers like us will have a hard time creating this kind of data sets. One thing they can do is leverage web3 and combine all this computing power and then create models like that. That will be interesting, but for now these models needs a kind of a data center to be trained on. So instead of trying to make your own version of GPT, I suggest better use theirs. Okay, coming back to this thing, you understand GPT, right? GPT is basically a way of pre-training the I'm trying to keep it as simple as I can, so bear with me. So basically, it's like from a given set of information, picking only the important part and then feeding into this AI model. So that's what GPT is all about. So I want to ask, let's ask one more thing. What is so revolutionary about ChatGPT? So, revolutionary. Ah, recently I got a new keyboard, so Chat GPT. It uses GPT language to understand it. Okay, it's an open source platform. Damn, you're not open source. Open source they claim, but most of the things are not open source. I checked it. Anyways, so coming back, ChatGPT is revolutionary because it uses the GPT-3 language model to understand and respond to the user input in a natural way. This is the first chatbot to use a deep learning language model, meaning it can learn from its interaction with the users and become better at responding to the user inputs. So, uh, again, they are just trying to like sounded like GPT itself is it's a data training one of algorithm you would like to say, but in AI terms we call it a model. It's something which was quite revolutionary. It leverages the power of people don't have to provide uh, like don't have to use a lot of computational power to get to the desired result. That's what make it quite unique. Because of that, ChatGPT was able to train on a huge data set. Like I'm talking about petabytes of data. Earlier, which was not possible. That's what makes it quite revolutionary. When this ChatGPT was it was getting trained, uh, it had so much data to work with that it can come up with its own explanations. For example, instead of if I ask who is Rahul Gandhi or who is like Narendra Modi, instead of getting a text from Wikipedia or some prominent profiling website, it can generate its own text because there's so much input that it can write its own content. So that's under the hood these guys are doing. But the goal of the video is basically to explain you about like what is this fuzz about this chat GPT and GPT in general. Okay, so we won't be diving into like how to create neuron nodes and things like that, because that's not the goal of this video. What is the goal of this video is to how to use these APIs. For example, if you go to the documentation section, leave it, and text, not text completion, language model. These are guides, not API reference, models, images. Wait a sec, where it was? Okay, like this thing. So we go to the API section and start using their API to create captions. So in a, for an example, let me show you. I have not provided any image for it, but I will just write this, write a caption for a Instagram post, sorry, post where I am riding a horse. Okay, this data riding a horse will come from the different API. So we'll just let it run. Awesome. So like this is what we're trying to do. We will also integrate, like, it can give you more replies so that you can choose from, pick and choose from using this ChatGPT tool. So in the next video, we will start the coding setup, like, ID setups and things like that. And we'll just browse around. Okay, that was it from in this video. Next video, we can actually jump into the coding part, and that will be more fun. Okay, thank you so much, guys, and I'm thrilled to have you. Like, you made it like till second video. I'm new on YouTube, so it means it's very big thing for me. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video.